Lawrence Shankland is in high demand, and welcome back to Fog Football, guys, because Saudi Arabia, clubs all over Saudi Arabia, they've been on a spending spree this summer. I mean, I don't need to even mention half of the names that have already went, but the names are linked still to go. We've got the likes of Neymar and Lawrence Shankland. So I welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, and yeah, how much is Lawrence Shankland worth? Well, according to some journalists, they're looking at around 3.5 to 4 million, potentially 5 million. But it's Saudi Arabia, and for me, Shankland is a proven goal scorer who, you know, is on the verge of going into the prime of his career as a striker. For me, Hearts have got to command a higher fee than 3 million, 3.5 million, man. It's Saudi Arabia. They can afford to give Hearts 300 billion. They really could. Like, and for me, they've got Hearts have got to play hard here. Like, Hearts losing Lawrence Shankland is massive, right? I predict the Hearts to finish fourth, and Hearts still have a good team, but without Shankland, man, like, how many games is he just like the sole scorer? Or it's like you take Nisbet's goals out of Hibs. All right, Nisbet was injured last season. Like, it's going to have an effect, even though I think Hibs have done well to like replace him with like, say, like, you know, Lafondre up front. No, he's 36. But, you know, he's got the second highest touches per touch per goal in Premier League history, so that's not a bad record. But for the mighty Motherwell as well, Fanfeen losing Fanfeen, even though Motherwell's picked 4 points out of 6 so far, it isn't particularly bad. But for Shankland, yeah, they're going to have to ask for big money here, and are they going to get big money? Only time will tell. Which Saudi Arabia clubs are linked? It's about 6 of them. There's no actual like guarantee about who it is, but you know, apparently 3 to 4 million plus big add-ons, which would be similar apparently for what Sam Lammers' fee was. Of course, he came from Serie A. But for me, Shankland, I think he's a brilliant goal scorer, and he's brilliant at holding up the play. I think he's severely underrated. Now, before we actually went ahead and signed half of our players up front, like Danilo, Lammers, Dessers, I would have took Shankland all day long at Rangers, but for, that boat is sailed. We do not need another striker. We need wingers at Rangers and centre backs. That's what, and a left back probably, and every other position. Only kidding though. So for me, Lawrence Shankland could be on his way out of Hearts. And Hearts fans, what do you want? What do you want for Saudi Arabia? Do you want much more money? I think you will. 5 million, take it or leave it. The same amount of money that Rangers are going to get when we pump Servette tonight. But moving on to the next transfer story, and we have got none other than Newcastle United Scotland winger Ryan Fraser, the wee man, the midget man, Hornswoggle himself. And I think this is just a weird potential signing for Celtic. Now, of course, Ryan Fraser, some of you may not know, he's no stranger to the Scottish Premiership, of course, playing for Aberdeen. But he's 29, but for some reason, it seems like the guy has been around since the dawn of time, and he's just not that good anymore, man. Like, there was a couple of years ago when it was like him and Dykes up front. I was like, oh, this might be Scotland's ticket to the big time, but it never really turned out to be the big time, did it? And this has just got a Brendan Rodgers signing written all over it, or a cheap Celtic board signing, where they're like, oh, look, we're getting a Premier League quality player. Look, but in reality, he's shite. Like, Ange Postecoglou would not win near this guy with a fucking 10 feet shitey pole, man, he wouldn't have, but Rodgers is, and for me, I genuinely, it's a weird one, like, I can't see it happening, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, because it is just such a Celtic signing, as I said earlier on. But for me, it's not, it's just, I don't know, I think he is better than James Forrest at this current point in time, but for me, it's kind of like signing a James Forrest, a guy that's, you know, been around the block, even though he's not even that old. Well, Forrest is a bit older, like, but for me, if I was a Celtic fan, I wouldn't want Ryan Fraser. I'd rather sign another exciting prospect for like Asia, or, you know, like a Thiago Odenholm, someone like that. For me, Ryan Fraser, guy going to be on high wages, going to probably expect to start, and yeah, I mean, Newcastle don't even want that high of a chance. They want rid of him because he's just a nuisance in the dressing room. And if you look at the Newcastle team, it's no wonder that they do not want this guy, man. Their team's too good for him, and I think Celtic and Rangers are too good for Ryan Fraser, to be honest, at this current point in time. Because when was the last time we actually saw Ryan Fraser be good? We're living off a reputation of like 2.5, 3 years ago, and obviously before then, but When was the last time Ryan Fraser actually had a good game? I can't even remember the last time he played a fucking match, to be honest, let alone played a good game. So, for me, guys, I wouldn't sign him, but I'm no Celtic. I hope they sign him. I hope they put him on a million a week, and I hope he's the biggest flop known to man. He scores 27 own goals, but that's probably not going to happen, guys. But anyway, Ryan Fraser to Celtic, Lawrence Shankland to Saudi. What will happen? Boom.